For many years after Jesus ascended into heaven, the world slowly began to change. Cities whispered his name, families shared his teachings, small groups of believers gathered in hidden rooms, praying in quiet voices. But far away from all the noise, in a small humble home, lived a woman whose life had shaped history itself, Mary, the mother of Jesus. When Jesus rose from the dead, Mary felt both joy and deep ache. She had seen his glory, but she had also seen his suffering. After his ascension, Mary traveled with the Apostle John. Some traditions say they settled in Jerusalem, others say in a peaceful hillside home in Ephesus, in today's Turkey. Wherever she lived, one thing is certain: she lived simply, she lived quietly, she lived in constant prayer. Her home was small, but full of warmth. The walls held memories, Jesus' first steps, his laughter, his miracles. Every corner reminded her of the son she loved more than her own breath. People came from far places just to meet her, not because she was famous, but because she carried a peaceful presence, like standing near a candle in a dark room. Every morning before sunrise, Mary would sit outside, watching the first light touch the earth. She whispered the same simple prayer: "Lord, use me for your peace." Her hands were old, her back slightly bent, but her spirit, still as strong as the day Gabriel called her blessed. She spent her days helping widows, comforting the sick, and guiding young followers of Jesus. To them, she wasn't just the mother of Jesus, she was the mother they wished they had, gentle, wise, patient. At night, when everything was quiet, Mary sometimes felt the weight of her memories. She remembered the angel's voice telling her she would carry God's Son, the journey to Bethlehem, the manger where she first held Jesus, the first time he spoke, the first time he walked, his miracles, his sermons, the day he carried the cross, and the moment he said, "Mother, behold your son." Her heart still felt that pain, but she never complained. She believed suffering had purpose, and God's plan always ends in light. Years passed, Mary grew older, her steps became slower, her hands trembled slightly when she picked up a bowl of water, her hair turned white like soft clouds. One peaceful evening, Mary felt something change. A gentle heaviness settled in her body, not fear, but a quiet calling. She asked John to gather the apostles. Those who could travel came as fast as possible: Peter, James, Andrew, Thomas, and others. They didn't want to believe the moment had come. They had lost Jesus once. Losing Mary felt like losing the last piece of him on earth. Mary welcomed them with a smile. Her voice was faint, but her words were strong: "My children, do not be afraid. Where I go, my Son is waiting." The apostles lit candles around her room. Their faces glowed softly in the warm light. Mary lay on a small bed, hands folded, eyes calm. She looked at each apostle, the men who had walked with Jesus, the men her son had trusted. She said slowly, "I am not leaving you, I am going ahead of you." As the night grew deeper, a strange peace filled the house. It wasn't of this world. It felt like the air had become lighter, like heaven was slowly opening its doors. The apostles felt it too. They began singing psalms, voices trembling with emotion. Mary listened with closed eyes, a faint smile on her lips. Around midnight, Mary's breathing slowed, the room grew silent, a soft glow filled the walls, not like fire, not like candlelight, something gentler, something holy. It was said that angels were present, though no one could see them clearly. Mary whispered her final prayer: "My Lord, I am your servant, let me rest in your arms." And then, with a long, peaceful breath, Mary fell asleep. No pain, no struggle, no fear, just eternal rest. This moment became known as the Dormition of Mary, the falling asleep of the mother of Jesus. The earth felt still, even the wind outside seemed to pause, to honor her. The apostles washed her body with fragrant oils. They wrapped her gently, with the same respect they gave Jesus. They placed her in a tomb made of stone, outside Jerusalem or near Ephesus. The location remains a mystery. For 3 days, they guarded the tomb, praying, singing, remembering. But on the third day, a miracle occurred. The tomb was found empty. The fragrance of flowers filled the air, though no flowers were inside. A soft, heavenly light remained inside the tomb, as if heaven had touched the earth. For one brief moment, the apostles understood, backhand index pointing right: God had taken Mary, body and soul, into heaven. This became known as the Assumption of Mary. She who had carried heaven in her womb, was now carried into heaven. Mary's final gift to the world was not her miracles, not her visions, but her peace. Her message lives forever. Where there is faith, fear cannot stay. Where there is love, darkness cannot win. Where there is God, peace never dies. To millions, Mary remains, the mother of Jesus, the mother of believers, the symbol of courage, the light of compassion, the Queen of Heaven.